Whakatau mai rai te whānau ki tō reo ora o Tumeke FM e te iwi i tēnei wā kua kuhumai a rāni rare weri. Tēnei tohuna whai hauora, tohuna whai mātauranga a hinenaro a wairua i roto i tō tātou rohe o mātātua. Kia ora e te whanauna. Homai o whakaaro mō tō huarahi i roto i tēnei hikoina e whai nei koe.
Kia re te whānau, a ka tika ka huri ngā mihi a ki ngā taringa ko areare mai nei i tēnei rā. Kia koe hoki te tuahine, ka tuku ngā mihi ati kia koe. Ko tōku huarahi, e tika ana koe e whai te huarahi oranga i ngā hua o Papatuanuku e ki ana. So my journey, I'm following that plant-based lifestyle. I'm a Maori male vegan, which I know it's a shock to a lot of people, but it's something that I'm hugely passionate about as I have found some profound, amazing benefits that has just taken my life in such a positive direction. So if I want to share my journey through that, I want to try and use that to help inspire and just make a positive contribution into someone else's life, because I've experienced that myself. So how can I use my experiences to help others as well? Because health is my top value. As I know, when I'm feeling healthy, I'm happy, I have a positive mental state, I have better sleeps. It's a whole holistic approach to health. It's both physical, it's emotional, it's spiritual, it's all of those types of things. And as Māori, you know, that's something that we believe in, Te taha wairua, te taha tinana, te taha hinengangaro. So it's bigger than just kai.
Tupuanuku, what's the story behind that brand? What's the story behind the ingoa?
Tupuanuku, this all started out from my mentor, Matua Marcus Akuhata Brown. He wanted me to help him with his health, so I decided to start writing down a plan for him, putting in recipes, and then as I was writing it, I saw like, far out, this is something that could be used for everyone, not just for him. As I was writing it, I was trying to think of the name. I think I just had diet guide or food plan or something at the top. Then one of my friends suggested, oh, what about Tupuanuku? And I had just finished reading Matariki from Dr. Rangi Mātāmua. So when that sort of name clicked, I was like, far out, this is perfect, because Tupuanuku is a child of Matariki, and when Tupuanuku is shining brightest amongst this cluster, when Matariki rises in June, July, that signifies that it's the best time to cultivate and harvest food from Papatuanuku. So being a vegan, seen as I only plant-based kai, that name just fitted so perfectly, and having a Māori name as my label, as, you know, my small business or just something that I represent, was something that just, you know, just meant so much to me. And it was more of a, let's just say, a niche or opening for other Māori to feel accepted into this lifestyle, because, you know, we all see plans, we all see programs, you know, sometimes we find it hard to connect to those things. As Māori, we find connection to a lot of things. So having Tupuanuku as something that people could connect to, it was just one of those light bulb moments. So that's the whakapapa of Tupuanuku.
You've become an inspirational person for followers all around the world, for the whānau, for New Zealand, for Te Rohe o Mātātua. Do you have any social influences that you follow day to day?
If we're talking on social media platforms, I'm hard out into what we consume is what we believe. So I don't really follow people who don't add value to my life. So I look at people like there's a guy over in America called Gary Vaynerchuk. There's another guy called Tony Robbins. There's another guy called Tim Ferriss. And then there's also, like, you know, my close friends that I follow, like my sister, she's a social influence now. Courtney Reori. There's my best friend Te Honui Tuna. There's another good friend of mine, Simon McLeod. So we have access to these types of people, and it's our choice to follow them and really let what they say resonate with us. What we consume has such a big impact on how we choose to live. If we're just watching things that make us laugh, it's cool, but is that going to get you further? So it depends on which direction you want to go, is going to determine which type of people you're going to follow. It goes a little bit step further for me, like these people are the people who I follow on social media, but my biggest inspiration has to be my mother. My mama, she's my greatest inspiration. I can't really express that enough, because what she has is the qualities that every human being should really strive for. Like as Māori, aroha, manaaki tangata, ko kotahitanga, acceptance, self-awareness. All of these types of things are the attributes that my mother holds, and I'm just so privileged to have someone like that in my life that nurtures me, that supports me in all of my endeavours. So she's also part of Tupu Anuku. She's helped me in the kitchen. Being able to provide my dream and share that with my greatest inspiration is way more deeper than just doing something alone. You know, we have all these influences around us and we have access to them, but one thing that I really encourage everyone to do is try and find someone in your circle or in your home environment that you can gain that inspiration from, because you can see someone on social media and see their photo like, "Wow, that's pretty cool." But when I see my mum and have a conversation with her, that's way more meaningful. So just find those things and they're out there. It's just, you got to be looking at the right place.
How do we get more Māori entrepreneurs?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good question, and I think if we look at how the world's moving, you know, it's moving pretty quick. I think a lot of people are becoming a lot more aware, because there's that old whakaaro of kohanga, primary, high school, university, job, house, car, all of that's like the way, I guess. But now with access to all this information, you know, there's a shortcut to be able to say, oh yeah, I can go to all these sort of things, I can go and work for a higher job. But now people are starting to become aware, like, oh, maybe I can do that, you know, maybe I can work for myself. I think it's definitely coming through, and if I see people like Taika Waititi, you know, who's Māori, who's setting his own sail, whaleke people like Te Hauni Tuna, you know, another rangatahi Māori, male vegan from this rohe who's got big ambitions. Simon McLeod, there's heaps of people out there who are already paving the way. It just comes down to that belief. It comes down to understanding that if you are Māori, it is your obligation to our tipuna to do something more than just that. Because if we think about what our tipuna done, they sailed the largest and deepest body of water to find this whenua. And if we just sit around and think that they've done that for nothing, we really need to take a look at ourselves and do something with that, because they didn't do that for nothing. And if we think about them setting sail from Hawaii or wherever our tipuna came from, they had so much courage. They were fearless in their endeavours. They were willing to risk it all for a bigger dream. We have access to that type of potential. We have access to that type of courage. And it comes down to knowing who you are as Māori, where you come from. And I think that's when you can have that sort of belief or that faith or that mana to really set your own path with te whānui. Yeah.
So do you feel like someone wants to be an entrepreneur, they have all these ideas, but they don't know how to clock in on one? Like, how do people zone in on choosing their favourite?
I think everything is a stepping stone into what you want to do, eh? So all your life experiences, I didn't even want to be a vegan, you know, it was only a 1 month challenge, but certain things play out when things are going right, and I think you find your way, and I think it's being open and exploring different things. But once you find that thing that really makes you happy, it's just a matter of starting. If you have like 5 or 10 things, just start on one of them. You know, I have so much things going on in my life at the moment, where I have tupu anuku, where I have my rangatahi mahi, where I have things with council to try and establish papa hauora. So I've got all my hands in these pockets, but I'm truly passionate about each and every one of them. So I invest time into them. It's cool to have ideas, but everyone has ideas. Everyone wants something more in their life. So it's just a matter of starting. That's all I can pretty much say. Explore different things, find what you're passionate about, find what makes you happy, find support around you, and just start.
Were you ever fearful for anything? Travel, starting something? Did anything hold you back, like, oh, that's a bit of a risk?
Definitely, and I'm going to be a bit vulnerable here. It's one of those moments where I was truly fearful was when I was going through a relationship breakup. That was probably the hardest thing that I've ever gone through, you know, investing time into someone, having a broken heart, things not working out. When I experienced that low of being down there and not knowing where to go, once I finally started making my way up, I had no reason to be fearful, because I thought in my mind that's probably the hardest thing that I've ever gone through. So going traveling, stepping out, that was easy for me. That was going after a dream. Moving home, leaving my job in the mines, that was easy for me because I found my passion. There has never really been anything significant apart from that moment of going through a rough breakup that has really challenged me whatsoever. And it just comes from, it's hard being down there really, eh? But once you make that climb up and understanding that you only go through things for a certain amount of time. If we think about moments where we've been sad, you know, that moment has passed. When we think about moments of being happy, that moment passes as well. So nothing necessarily lasts for long. So if you're fearful, just be fearful for that moment, take that step and it passes, just like everything else does. So that's sort of the mentality that I have now, and I just know with the support I have around me, with the faith and belief that I have in myself, there's just no reason to be fearful.
Tell us about your store, Apopo, yours and your mama's store. What do you have to offer to bring people over? And
so this is our second market. The first one went really well, but the purpose of having these markets is, you know, I have a dream of one day opening up a vegan cafe here in Whakatane, and in order to get to that dream, it might be 1 year, it might be 2 years or 3 years down the track. I know I have to start somewhere, and I have to try and create credibility where I know it will work here. I know it will work myself, but how can I get support from the community to say, yeah, this is needed, this can go well. So starting with Tupu Anuku, I'm kaisto at the Ohope Craft Market. We have things that you probably never had before, and that's pretty exciting. So we have things like granola or homemade stuff, chocolate bliss balls, which are pretty delicious, got chocolate chunks in them with peanut butter. We also got like a carrot bliss ball. We've got a broccoli, lentil and wild rice salad. We've got a chickpea edamame bean and kamo salad, and we also have a roast pumpkin, couscous and sun-dried tomato salad. So there's a few things going on there, and it's all really good for you. One thing about our store is we have, you know, zero plastic as well, so we provide all of our kai within decomposable things to eat your kai with. So once you see the store, you're just more invited, because it's like walking into the ngahere pretty much. Everything is, I've made everything secondhand out of pallets, our tepu, our cabinet, we have plants everywhere. It's just one of those things that I feel you'll get an experience out of, as opposed to just getting a good kai.
That's a great example. You don't need cash, you don't need money to put up an extravagant store, because I see on your videos you're just getting pallets, you're making something but you're putting in the mahi the time. It's another good opportunity for Māori entrepreneurs to, if you want to do something, hit up a market, ask the shop and have a te tiro, see what you can get out of it.
That's it.
Cut the cost, you know, cut the cost and make the dream.
You've got to be smart, but got to be willing to mahi, eh? Mahia te mahi.
Mahia te mahi. Awesome. So if people can't make it and they want to reach you, they want to find more about you, where do they go? And if they want to ask you any questions, can they?
So if you can't make it tomorrow, I truly hope that some of you do, and if you do, you know, just say that you're listening on Tumeke, that'll be awesome. But if you can't come tomorrow, I'll definitely be doing a bit more of these. You can find me on PlantBasedMaori on all social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and just give me a DM, give me a private mail, and I'm happy as to answer any questions. Also got a website in the making, so everything's been done by myself too, so I just really love it. But those are the places where you can reach me as PlantBasedMaori. But you can't get any better than kanohi to kanohi, so come down Apopo.